So let's use Tony Silva's numbers as an example. So if you go to the bottom tab where it says enter data here, if you do need to update your numbers in the future, that would be where you'd want to do it, at the very top line there. But don't worry about messing around with that. There's a lot of equations here. The bottom tabs there, you have three different choices for sanctional athlete goals, being a good local athlete goals, or maybe being a good athlete in your gym, just to show some balanced numbers depending on whatever our goals are. Now in column B, it should be pulling over all your different PRs from the camp that you entered in and from beforehand. The goals there is the balanced numbers that we're trying to eventually attain, and then the results over there should pre-populate how far off or how developed you are in that specific test. Now it'll show on your front squat at 85%. It should pre-populate whether you're low NME or high NME. And then on the 8-minute power clean test, it'll pre-populate whether you need to work more on CP battery on your recharge or need to work on 1 rep max strength. And on the right side, there's a ton of information over here. It will show your squatting, bending, pushing, and pulling structure. And then it will show where you're weakest at, and then it will automatically pre-populate the movement that is the weakest on the right side, along with our different, power output, anaerobic, max aerobic power, pacing, gymnastics, and Oli lifting, and then it will pre-populate which your biggest weakness is. Now, if you don't have a number, then it'll just automatically pre-populate that weakness. So if you want to put a guess in, then it's not a bad idea there. Then at the bottom right shows the different balance numbers and kind of shows where we're at. Notice how, like we talked in the camp, it automatically pre-populates that Tony is squat weak on a few of these things, and shows a few of his other weaknesses. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily like, trying to be super cut and dry here on what you need to improve on. It's more just trying to give you an idea how far off you are on some certain aspects. And if you're 99% of the way there, even though it shows up as a weakness, obviously that's not a big deal. But if we're way far off, it can really tell us and show us where we need to focus on going forward.